Semakula Lawrence. Jennifer Muhurizi. Fesingoma Pedson. Tony Yawe. Paul Nkaluvo Lumala. Kosima Deborah. Judith Ashaba. Nayebare Bettina. Mark Kasitu. Those are the accused persons.
Much obliged, Your Worship. It please Your Worship, my name is Peter Kalatsi. Bruce Musinguzi from Kampala Associated Advocates. The joint appear for Lawrence Semakula. We have Mukili is Henry. It's Henry Mukili, and that is from Your Worship, from Mokove and Kamban Advocates. For custody, for Awero Sarah, that's counsel.
Your Worship, A3 is not in court. We intend to make prayers thereafter. This matter is coming up for explanation of charges to the accused persons, and we are ready to proceed.
This court shall read to you the charges that are against you. You will take plea before the judge. The matter shall be allocated to. Upon committal. Semakula Lawrence, you are a male adult aged 58 years, Accountant General in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, resident at Plot 4, Koto Crescent in Kampala District. Jennifer Muhurizi, you're a female adult, aged 55 years, Commissioner Treasury Services, Accounting Officer Vote 130 in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Reza, Chitiko, Chigo Road, Makindye, Sabagabo Municipality, Wakiso District.
Maybe, Your Worship, before we proceed, I pray that you ask the accused persons the languages they understand before we have the charges read to them. Thank you.
A1, Semakula Lawrence, what language do you understand?
English.
A2, Jennifer Muhurizi, what language do you understand?
English.
Singoma, you said is not around.
That is true.
Tony Yawe,
English.
Paul Nkalubo, what language do you understand?
English.
Mukisa Deborah, what language do you understand? Judith Ashaba, what language do you understand?
English.
Nayebare Bettina, what language do you understand? Mark Kasiku. Semakula Lawrence, a male adult Ugandan, aged 58 years, Accountant General in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, resident of Plot 4, Pukoto Crescent in Kampala District. Jennifer Muhurizi, female adult Ugandan, aged 55 years, Commissioner Treasury Services and Accounting Officer, Vote 130 in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Reza, Chitiko, Chigo Road, Maki in Diesaba Gabo Municipality, Wakiso District. Tony Yawe, a male adult, aged 46 years, a senior IT officer in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Seguku, Katale Zone, Kajansi Town Council in Wakiso District. Paul Nkalubo Lumala, male adult aged 40 years, IT Systems Officer in Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Nalia Estate, Chira Division in Wakiso District. Kusima Deborah Dorothy, female adult Ugandan aged 33, senior accountant in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Factory Road in Tindanakawa Division in Kampala District. Judith Ashaba, a female adult Ugandan aged 43 years, accountant in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Bunamwaya Village, Chadondo Sub-County Estates in Wakiso District. Nayebare Bettina, a female adult Ugandan aged 31 years, research assistant accountant in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Kisasi, Chikaya, Kawempe Division in Kampala District. Mark Kasiku, a male adult Ugandan, aged 33 years, IT Systems Officer with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, a resident of Muyenga Chironde Road in Kampala City. On count one, you're charged with corruption contrary to Section 2(1) and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda, 2023. It is alleged that Semakula Lawrence and Jennifer Muhurizi, between January and October 2024, at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development at Plot 2 to 8, Sir Apollo Kagwa Road in Kampala City, being employed by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development as Accountant General and Undersecretary or Accounting Officer, respectively, neglected to put in place effective systems to safeguard public funds, which resulted into financial loss of US dollars 6,525,858 to the government of Uganda. That is for Semakula Lawrence and Jennifer Muhurizi. Count 2, causing financial loss contrary to Section 19 of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda. Yawe Tony, between 9th September 2024 and 11th September 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development offices at Plot 2 to 8 Saplokagwa in Kampala City, being employed by the government of Uganda as senior IT officer, manipulated the payment instructions files in respect of the payment of US dollars 6 billion, million.
Yes.
6 million, 1,034,137.75, which was supposed to be paid in International Development Association to Roadway Company Limited, purporting to be payment for recycling plant systems and machinery, having reason to believe that such act would cause financial loss of 134,137.75 cents to the government of Uganda. Count 3, corruption contrary to Section 2H and 26(1) of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda, Tony Yawe, between the 19th and 11th September 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, headquarters offices at Plot 2 to 8 Sir Apolokagwa Road in Kampala City, in the discharge of his duties as senior IT officer at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, irregularly altered the payment instructions for the $6,134,137.75 that was supposed to be paid to International Development Association as payment for principal and interest by substituting the intended payee with Roadway Company Limited, purporting to be payment for recycling plant and machinery for purposes of illicitly obtaining benefits for the said Roadway Company Limited. Count 4, corruption contrary to Section 2G and 26(1) of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Twesigomwe Edson, Kusima Deborah Dorothy, and Paul Nkalubo Lumara, between the 9th September and 11th of September 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, headquarters, offices at Plot 2 to 8, Saplokagwa Road, Plot 28 in Kampala City, while employed by the said ministry as Assistant Commissioner Accounts, Senior Accountant, and an IT Systems Officer, respectively, participated as accomplices in the commission of the offense of corruption contrary to Section 2H and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act by Tony Yawe, when they concealed the irregular payment of the $6,134,137.75 to unauthorized payee in the name of Roadway Company Limited. Count 5, abuse of office contrary to Section 10 of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda. The particulars: Tony Yawe, in the month of January 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development at Plot 228 Saplokagwa Road in Kampala City, being employed by the government of Uganda as senior IT officer, in abuse of the authority of his office, did an arbitrary act prejudicial to the interest of his employer when he irregularly altered the contents of pay instructions file for payment of US dollars $6,600,000 320.75 to International Development Association, Washington, to International Development Association, Islaka, 177A 660-129, Ponsna, Holland. Count 6, electronic fraud contrary to Section 18(1) of the Computer Misuse Act, Cap 96. Tony Yahweh in the month of January 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, headquarters at Plot 228, Sapolokagwa Road in Kampala City, by means of deception and with intent of securing an unlawful gain, deliberately manipulated the payment instruction files on the Integrated Financial Management System by altering the payment details from International Development Association, Washington, who was the intended payee of $6,674,320.75 to an unintended payee in the names of International Development Association. Okay, there is a typo there. Selska, Ponsna, Poland.
There is no typing mistake. That is the name.
That's the name.
Yes.
Okay, that name that I cannot pronounce. In the first place, you wrote it Association Slaves. That was, that was the error. So this one is the correct one. Okay. Count 7, corruption contrary to Section 2H and 26(1) of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda. Tony Yahweh in the month of January 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development headquarters at Plot 28, Sir Apolokagwa in Kampala City, in the discharge of his duties as Senior IT Officer at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, irregularly altered the payment instructions of for the US dollars $6,674,320.75 that was supposed to be paid to International Development Association, Washington, as payment for principal interest, by substituting the intended payee with International Development Association, so that name, Pons, Holland, for purposes of illicitly obtaining benefits for the said International Development Association, Ponsna, Poland. On count 8, corruption contrary to Section 2G and 26(1) of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda, Judith Ashaba and Nayebare Bettina, between the 20th and 30th of January 2024, at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development headquarters offices at Plot 228, Sapolokagwa Road, Plot 228 in Kampala City, while deployed by the said ministry as an accountant, research assistant, a research assistant accountant respectively, participated as an accessory after the fact in the commission of the offense of corruption contrary to Section 2H and Section 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act by Tony Yahweh when they concealed the irregular payment of US dollars $6,674,320.75 through false reconciliations. Count 9, causing financial loss contrary to Section 19 of the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116, Laws of Uganda. Mark Kasiku, between the 20th September 2024 and 1st October 2024, at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development offices at Plot 228, Sir Apolokagwa Road in Kampala City, being employed by the government of Uganda as an IT systems officer, manipulated the payment instruction files in respect of payment of US dollars 391,720.45, which was supposed to be paid to International Development Association, to MJS International London, a company that was not entitled to the said payment. Count 10, electronic fraud contrary to Section 18(1) of the Computer Misuse Act. Mark Asiku between the 23rd September 2024 and 27th September 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development Headquarters at Plot 2 to 8 Sir Apollo Kagwa in Kampala City by means of deception and with intention of securing an unlawful gain for MJS International London, deliberately introduced executable-like scripts on the Oracle program on the IMFS system that resulted into authorized payment of US dollars 8,596,824.26 to the said MJS International London. Count 11, money laundering contrary to Section 3B, 116 and 136A of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Cap 118, Laws of Uganda. Tony Yawe, Twosingomwe Pedson, Kusima Deborah, Nayebare Bettina, Paul Rumara Nkalubo, and Mark Kasiku between January 2024 and September 2024 at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development Headquarters at Plot 2 to 8, Sir Apollo Kagwa Road in Kampala City, intentionally concealed the true nature of US dollars 6,134,137.75 that was fraudulently paid to Roadway Company Limited, Tokyo, Japan, by manipulating the payment system to falsely indicate that the payment was in fact made to International Development Association, whereas not. Those are the charges against him. You, like I said earlier, you will take plea before the judge, as I do not have the jurisdiction to hear money laundering.
Your Worship, it is a prayer for prosecution. That this court issues a criminal summons against one Twesgomwe Pedson, A3, who made his presence before this court practically impossible today. As this would compel him to appear and answer the charges against him. Nonetheless, Your Worship, inquiries in this matter are still ongoing, and in the premises, we seek an adjournment. We so pray, Your Worship.
I am Mukufwe.
Sorry?
If it may please your worship. I am Mukufwe Mugaga, appearing together with my land colleague, Mr. Daniel Haguma, representing A5. The worship mine is simply a procedure one that in committal proceedings such as these, under section 168, subsection 13A, ideally of the Magistrates Courts Act, ideally, your worship, we should be availed with the indictment and the summary of the case. However, as it were, this is not to complain, we just request the state really soonest as possible to avail us with the same. I so pray, your worship.
I hope that's all from defense. May I respond?
If I don't have a copy of the charge sheet, but I have not heard from people who are facing the charges of money laundering. How many are they? It appears it is not all the accused persons who are facing that charge. And according to the law, the other accused persons, they can take plea and they have the chance of applying for bail. Who are facing that charge, those are the ones to take plea before the High Court. And there should be some fair also, because when the charges are being read, we should be having copies of the charge sheet on behalf of the accused persons. We don't have anything. That is very unfair and it's not acceptable. How many people are facing this? How many people are facing that? We don't know. So my prayer is, people who are not facing that charge, you can entertain their plea so that they have a chance of applying for bail. I so pray, Your Worship.
Your Worship, maybe at this juncture to resolve this little confusion, the prosecution should avail us copies of the charge sheet. This is not, as I understand it, an indictment yet. Then we would know who is charged with what to determine whether a particular accused person or another is entitled to application for bail.
Yes, Your Worship. Whereas it is true that our colleagues on defense are entitled to copies of the charge sheet, it is rational to appreciate that that can be executed only if prosecution was prior before the plea in the know of the defense counsel. Your Worship, in this regard, we do not know who the defense lawyer was. But that's not to say that we shall not discharge our duty of disclosure of the charge sheet. In that respect, Your Worship, we are going to ensure that immediately after this, we avail defense with the copies of the charge sheet. And also, my senior colleague submitted to the effect that the law allows an accused person, one of them, to take plea on a charge sheet where one of the counts therein does not fall within the jurisdiction of the magistrate. That was well noted, however, there was no authority to that effect. It was not grounded fully on the law, and as such, to have his application dismissed with the contempt it deserves. However, okay, dismissed. Okay, dismissed. And then I agree with the senior counsel that after here, we do the disclosure of the charge sheet to defense counsel.
Nzikuru for the prosecution in this matter. In light of the application by Counsel Mukuve for A5 to have us supply them with the committal papers. Even at this point, this matter has only come for explanation of the charge. We are fully aware of the rules of this court. That is the High Court Anti-Corruption Division Case Management Rules of 2021 that enjoins us to disclose to the accused persons all documents, material statements, and exhibits. And you know that includes the charge sheet and the indictment and summary of the case. However, at this point, we have informed court that inquiries in this case are still incomplete. And as per Rule 8 of the rules I have just cited, we shall disclose. However, in light of the charge sheet, which has been presented in court today, we will avail signed copies to the accused persons or their legal representatives. Even in addition to the application to have the accused persons who are not on the money laundering charge take plea. Your Honor, it is trite law that the offense with the highest penalty determines the jurisdiction. And also the Anti-Money Laundering Act vests jurisdiction in the High Court. For that matter, the trial of the accused persons can only take place in the High Court. We pray that application is denied.
It is my submission that what counsel for the state are saying is totally wrong. They are forgetting simple criminal procedure. Why are the accused persons brought before you, Your Worship, at this juncture? Your Worship, at this juncture, the accused persons are not coming for trial. And my learned friend has said that it's for explanation of the charge sheet. That is also totally wrong. Your Worship, the accused persons are coming before you for taking plea. Just as simple as that. You read the charges, which you have done, and either the charges are bearable by this court or not. The most important thing there is whether the charges are bearable by this court or not. And my submission is that if the charges are bearable, the accused persons can take plea because their constitutional right is at stake. They are now in detention. They have a right of applying for bail. And that is what court should be considering now at this juncture. But my Iran friends are not talking about it. That is the most important thing at this juncture, Your Worship. The constitutional right of the accused person is at stake. So if the offences are bearable by this court, the accused persons can take plea so that they can apply for bail. And my Iran friends are asking for authorities. Do I need to cite authorities there? Doesn't he know the MCA that when an accused comes to court, he takes plea and he applies for bail? So do I need to say to authorities, Rod Denning? And now even, as you may have seen, my learned friend has gone on and say, you see, inquiries are incomplete. No, we are not now for inquiries. That one will come after plea. So my learned friends are forgetting simple criminal procedure. And they want to bundle the accused persons and take them to jail, which is very unfair. The accused persons, those ones who are not affected by the charge of money laundering, have a right of applying for bail, of taking plea and applying for bail, and here and now. Maybe if court does not have time, and court has not said anything, no, court has not said anything, and court should not work on the whims of counsel for the state. We are here before you, Your Worship. You are now before court. We are not before the state attorneys. And we are looking for justice. My learned friend has stated that jurisdiction is vested in the High Court. That is for only one offense. Only one offense. And that one determines the trial, but not taking plea. Because, Your Worship, even if somebody is going to be tried by the High Court, he must pass through the magistrate's court until he is committed. Maybe my learned friend is forgetting that also. An accused person has to be committed to the High Court for trial. So here we are coming for mention and plea. We are not coming for trial. So I reiterate my submission that those accused persons who are not affected by the offense, which is trial only by the High Court, you be pleased to take their plea so that they can apply for bail. I so pray, Your Worship.
I have heard the submissions of Counsel Mtabingwa and Counsel Mkobe and also Senior Counsel Kavasi on the various issues raised, and also the responses by Chief State Attorney Birivim Vuka and Gloria. On the issue of not being given committals, the matter today was for reading of charges and not committal. So the charges were read and explained to the accused persons to allow them to know the charges against them. Then after prosecution concludes with the investigations, the accused persons shall be committed to the High Court for trial. On the issue of availing the charge sheet to the accused person or their advocates, the same should be done as they are entitled to know the charges against them. On the issue of taking plea for the other accused persons not charged with money laundering, it is my considered opinion that it is the High Court dressed with the jurisdiction to try money laundering. Thus, this court cannot take plea for the other accused persons as they are jointly charged and joined on the same charge sheet. On the issue of their rights being at stake, the good thing about the Anti-Corruption Court division is that the High Court sits in the same premises with the Chief Magistrate. Thus, counsel for the said persons can apply for their bail even as early as tomorrow in the premises. This matter is adjourned for mention and criminal summons are issued for A3. We are further remanding the rest. 18th. I'm just mentioning the case. I don't have anything to do with them. So they will apply to the High Court. The High Court will hear you, give you a date. I'm just mentioning your case. 18th.
It is available for prosecution.
Adjourned to the 18th at 11. Your father remanded till then.
So obliged, Your Worship.